All right. What is up, Big 12 fans and West Virginia fans? West Virginia just picked up Braden Siders. Kind of a weird one. It looked like he was committed to Arizona. Then he flipped his commitment to West Virginia. We're going to dive in. We're going to check the guy out. Very exciting pickup for West Virginia. The momentum seems to be rolling with them. So very exciting if you're a West Virginia fan. Before we dive into it, guys, smash the like button. Also, comment down below. What do you guys think of Braden Siders? Is he an impact player right away? Is he a high rotational guy? You know, edge rushers are usually in some rotation, but is he like a 700 snap guy, or is he more like a 200, 300 snap guy? I want to know what you're thinking, or is he just depth? I want to know where your head's at. Also, the show is a part of the 1012 network. 1012 network sponsored by Charlie Hustle. Awesome clothes, charliehustle.com. Check them out. It's vintage made fresh. They really do a great product, and use code 101215 for 15% off any non-sale items. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of content for Big 12, no matter who your team is, whether it's recruiting or current events, whatever you're looking for. We are putting out a ton, especially with recruiting. That's really my passion, and that's what I try to stay focused on. So if you're into that, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you always know when your team gets a new player and you can hear the breakdown on them. And on that note, let's dive in and check out Braden Siders. Okay, guys, so here we are looking at Braden Siders. So he has played 1,256 snaps for Wyoming. Last year only played 280. I'm wondering if there's an injury or something in there. So this is last year's breakout. You can see when he did play, he played a lot of snaps. So someone weigh in the comment section. Was he injured? What happened there? We're still going to take a look at the sample size he did have. It's pretty good. One really bad performance against BYU, a 46 grade. But outside of that, a lot of really good grades and above average grades. So let's go ahead and take a look, guys. PFF grades, I like to comment this on a lot of videos, is PFF grades are great and I enjoy them and they can help lead you in the right direction. But what PFF for me is most valuable for is this section over here, especially with like defensive linemen. It is edge rushers and D line it is very valuable content to look over here. So 72.6 grade for him last year. Very good there. 1,256 total snaps. And on those, it was 575 pass rush snaps. And he had 55 total pressures. So you think about that, it's right around 10% pressure rate on his snaps for pass rushes. That's very good. That's not elite level, but it's very good. Maybe you'd like it to be a little higher considering the competition he was going against, right? It was Mountain West. But I still think it's an impressive number, right? It's still an impressive number. What I like here too, you do see this year the missed tackle percentage was a little high, but this is right on point for an edge rusher. Edge rushers tend to have a little higher missed tackle percentage. That's decent. It's a slightly high, 18.5, but not terrible. And then take a look here, the stops. So he had 11 stops last year on 143 run defense snaps. So that's very good there, right? That's around 7% off the top of my head. And throughout his career, 594 run defense snaps, 61 stops. So that is over a 10% stop rate. And that's FBS football. That is not easy to do. That's a very impressive number. And a stop, for those of you guys that aren't aware, is a play made where the offense is either neutral or negative. So in the run game, that means he basically stopped them at the line or behind the line. So it's a really good number. I think you got a little bit of concern with the missed tackle percentage. And then I'm wondering, there's got to be a story about these injuries. I'm not super familiar with Wyoming football, but a ton of snaps in each game and then a bunch of games where he didn't get any snaps. It's got to be an injury situation. But on the 280 snaps he did play last year, he looked very good, right? And then throughout his career, I think the numbers are very impressive as well. The pressure rate is, right under 10%, which is very good, right? It's not elite, but it means he's a good pass rusher. And then run defense, 61. I'd say that's like very high end run stopper. And you can kind of, that adds up with the size here, 6'3", 252 pounds. I'm liking what we're seeing here in Braden Siders. I think he's a very exciting, very good pickup for WVU and WVU fans. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts in a second. So let's go ahead and move into that. Okay, guys, so that's Braden Siders. I'm about to give you guys my final thoughts on him. Before I do so, please do make sure you smash the like button and comment down below. What are your thoughts? Do you think he's a big time impact player? Do you think he's a 500 plus snap guy? Do you think he'll just be working into the rotation more like 200-300 snaps? Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content, whether you're a WVU fan or you're just a Big 12 fan. We putting out a lot of content here. So let's talk about him. So Braden Siders, I like a lot of what we're seeing here. And, the stop rate was about 10%. The pass rush rate was right about 10%. So let's just call them both 10%. Now he's going to be going from Wyoming to a significantly tougher competition, right? Mountain West isn't great. It's one of the weaker conferences. It's a tough situation. He's got some really good games in here. But the talent, it was San Diego State, Utah State, Idaho, not great. He did decent against Arizona State. This is what I'm thinking. Even if his percentages get a decent amount worse, right? His stop percentage goes from 10% to 7%, and let's say his pass rush percentage goes from 10% to 7%. So both of them drop a decent amount, right? I think even if that were to happen, 7% in both categories is still a very well-rounded, very impressive, solid player. So I think you'd be getting a really good player in this guy either way. And if you're a West Virginia fan, I think, as I've kind of hinted at, you're probably getting a very good defensive player that's going to get in there and get a good amount of snaps. I expect him to be somewhere in that 500 to 600 range. I think he'll be a starter for West Virginia, if not maybe more in that 400 range. Hopefully the injury situation's figured itself out. Again, I don't know a ton about what's going on there. I'm guessing it's an injury. So anyone in the comments that wants to chime in there, but I like the player. If you're a West Virginia fan, I think he's a very impressive guy that could definitely be a good to very good starter for you guys. So I'm excited to see how that goes. And that is Braden Siders. I am out of here. Like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and go Big 12.